Hi again. So we have reached the exercise on reversing a sequence of a struct of integers. So we have a sequence of integers that ends with a 0, and we need to read. So those are digits. So if it's not a digit, I need to make a beep, a sound, or stuff like that. So we need to check that, and I need to display the number, but in reverse order and one number. So first I will read 1, so I need to place it in this number. Then I read the second one 9. However, 9 it will come at the second place. So for example, I need to multiply it by 10. 7 I multiply it by 100, here by 1000. So we are looping here, and as much as we go further in this number, so first I will multiply it by 1, and then the counter will jump directly into 10 and then 100. So the numbers will be multiplied 10 by 10. So here the incrementation is a bit different. So let's check and see how we will do this exercise. So user should enter multiple values. So let's call it x, and I need the number. So because 1 digit, 2 digits, 3 digits, so I need an n, and and we need the value. So let's call it value, and we'll see if we need other stuff. So we'll do while, because I need to read a number before checking if it's 0. So printf enter a number, because I will end the program when it's 0. So enter x, scanf percentage d address of x, and then I will check. So if it's out of bounds, so if x is less than 0 or x is greater than 9, I will beep, just to make sure the user to enter a good value. So we can skip this, just for us to hear the sound. So if x, I can just make continue. So I will continue. Let's do it continue here, to use continue. So I will not do the rest of the stuff. So I will continue. So if x is different than 0, so now I will do the calculation. So in value, so at the first time, value would be equal to x. So the first one here, it would be equal to x. However, at the next time, so we need to modify this. So and the next iteration, so I would call it 2. So at the next time, I would multiply it by another variable, which is first it would be equal to 1 and then equal to 10. So here I would multiply it by 1. So I would use a variable called let's say a product. So in product, first I would initialize it to 1, and at this next I would multiply it by 10. So prod here would be multiplied by 10. So first it will be equal to 1, then 10, then at the next iteration it's 100, and then 1000, and then so we don't need an n, so because we have it's good for that. So and I'll do a while here. So whenever I encounter x is equal to 0, so as long as x is different than 0, I would do all this stuff. And when I'm out, it means that x equal to 0, I would print the value. So print f, so we have percentage d, and the value would be in value. So I didn't place something in value, so we need here to do also a summation, because we are always summing. So 1 plus 90 plus 70, so equal plus, and of course value, since it's a sum, it should start from 0. So let's see if it works. So we will enter 1 9 7, what else, 4. I will enter just for fun -4 and 0. So okay, they are asking us multiple times. So at the end we will have 4791. So what I have done here is that in the buffer, so in the memory, I have placed multiple numbers. So when we have encountered another scanf, it will get one of these numbers that they are already in the memory and they are waiting to be used by your program. So at the end we have ended like this. Let's check another program. Let's say that from the beginning I'm entering 0. So what will happen? I'll enter 0. So we are here because it's less than 0. I will skip So I will skip the rest of that and I will reach here. So x is equal to 0 and then I'm out. Let's say that I'm entering -2. So I'm continuing, so as if I'm not reading anything. And let's say that I enter 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 0. So we will end with 4, 3, 2, 1. So let's repeat. So the trick, so here we know that the trick, so just here, whenever I'm entering a number, so the first number would be multiplied by 1, the second number would be multiplied by 10. So this is why we have the prod here. The prod, it gets multiplied by 10. And we are always adding the old value. So we have adding 1 plus 20 plus 300 plus 4000, and then we have ended with 4321. So in place of prod, you can use the power. However, if you want to use a power, you need to use a counter. So let's solve it using power. So we need to include math.h. So instead of prod, I will use a power x 10, and I will multiply it by 1, 2, 3, 4. So for that, I need an integer n. So I need an integer n because it's the number of iterations. So here we have n, and here we would be use n plus plus, and of course n would be initialized to 0 because n power 0 is equal to 1. So 10 power 0 equal to 1. At the first time, it will be equal to 1. Let's rerun it and see if it works. So again, I will enter 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. So I will end with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and yes, it works. So you have the choice either to choose power. So if you use power, you need a counter. If you don't use power, you need the real values of the power. So it's either you multiply by 10 or you use power, and you need to have a counter variable. So this was for this exercise. So if you have any questions, do not hesitate to drop me a message, and I will try to answer you back. And thanks for watching, and stay safe.